Hey, it's your boy Top Lad of Aquinas here. If you live in the UK, you may have seen one of these. A good habit to get into when someone puts quotes on a bus in order to promote a religion is to ask, where do those quotes come from? Well, these quotes have come from an organisation called Engagement 2030. Amongst other things, their aim is to present a positive image of Islam and Muslims. Now, given that they want to do that, what verses from the Quran do they quote? Well, actually, they don't quote from the Quran. For now, we'll have to assume the Quran just doesn't have any nice small quotes that would fit on the side of a bus. I've seen 2 quotes on those buses. We'll look at the second one in another video. Let's look at the first one now. O mankind, spread peace and feed people. This is actually a paraphrase of the Hadith, Jami al-Tirmidhi 2485. This is not a quote from the Quran. This is a quote from a collection of Muhammad's sayings. Though the Quran is the most authoritative book in Islam, other authorities exist. These describe the history and teachings of Muhammad. For example, Muslims pray 5 times a day. This teaching is not found in the Quran, but in the Hadith. For most Sunni Muslims, Kitab al-Sittar, which is 6 books of collections of teachings, are the next authority to look at. In terms of rank, Jami al-Tirmidhi is book number 4. The author of this book died in 892 AD. The author of the first book, Sahih al-Bukhari, died in 870 AD. Muhammad died in 632 AD. By comparison, the books of the New Testament were written by 100 AD, and Jesus died around 30 AD. So straight away, the sayings attributed to Muhammad in these books are quite legitimately called into question. There is a gap of about 250 years. So with that in mind, let's read the Hadith. Jami al-Tirmidhi 2485. Abdullah bin Salam said, when the Messenger of Allah arrived, meaning in Al-Madinah, the people came out to meet him. It was said that the Messenger of Allah had arrived. So I went among the people to get a look at him. When I gazed upon the face of the Messenger of Allah, I knew that his face was not the face of a liar. The first thing that he spoke about was that he said, O you people, spread the salam, feed others and perform salat while the people are sleeping. You will enter paradise with the greeting of salam. Sahih. Sahih means authentic. Salat is prayer and salam is peace. Now, obviously you can't fit all that on a bus. That's fair enough. But why quote this at all? Well, they're quoting this to give a positive image of Islam. Why then did they leave out the bit about prayer, and why did they leave out the bit about paradise? I don't know. I think it's because leaving those bits out makes the quote sound more appealing to the British public. Feed people and spread peace. If that's what Islam is about, count me in. Prayer and the talk of some people entering paradise might put people off. Did you notice the superpower that Abdullah bin Salam has? When I gazed upon the face of the Messenger of Allah, I knew that this face was not the face of a liar. I bet that was a useful superpower, the ability to know whether someone is a liar by looking at their face before they even start talking. I mean, that's more miraculous than anything Muhammad did. Why didn't they put that on a bus? Anyway, let's get back to the Hadith. Muhammad did not receive all his revelation at once. He would receive it in parts, sometimes a verse at a time. This Hadith talks about a time when Muhammad first visited Medina. As such, he had not yet received all his revelation. The list of things you need to do to enter paradise is incomplete. We have prayer, peace and feeding. We have not got saying the Shahada, not committing shirk, association with Allah, and paying zakat, to mention a few. What exactly you have to do to enter paradise is debatable. In fact, since Islam teaches predestination, you are bound to the path Allah puts you on. If you are predestined to hell, Allah will help you get there. And by the way, I can back that up with a quote from Muhammad. So not only is the quote on the bus incomplete, but the hadith that is quoted is incomplete when it comes to describing Islam. But let's answer the big question. Is Islam peaceful? This hadith certainly makes it sound like it. However, we must be careful not to take things out of context. After all, this was only part way through his preaching. Let's quote another 2 hadiths just to be sure. Jami' al-Tirmidhi 2606. Narrated Abu Hurairah. Narrated that the Messenger of Allah said, I have been ordered to fight the people until they say La ilaha illallah. And if they say that, then their blood and wealth will be protected from me, except what it makes obligatory upon them, and their reckoning is up to Allah. Ooh, the same book that the bus quotes also says that Muhammad said he'd been ordered to fight people until they say there is no God but Allah. If people say that, then their lives and wealth are protected from him, except for what must be given as a Muslim. Oh my. Perhaps there's a way to explain this so that it's not violent. Jami' al-Tirmidhi 2607, narrated Abu Hurairah, said, when the Messenger of Allah died and Abu Bakr became the Caliph, or king if you like, after him, whoever disbelieved from the Arabs disbelieved. So Umar bin al-Khattab said to Abu Bakr, how will you fight the people? While the Messenger of Allah has said, I have been ordered to fight the people until they say, La ilaha illallah, and if they say that, then their blood and wealth will be protected from me, except what it makes obligatory upon them, and then reckoning is with Allah. So Abu Bakr said, by Allah, I will fight whoever differentiates between Salat and Zakat. For indeed Zakat is the right due upon wealth. And by Allah, if they withhold even camel tethers, which they used to give to the Messenger of Allah, I will fight them for withholding it. So Umar bin al-Khattab said, by Allah, I saw that Allah had opened Abu Bakr's chest to fighting, so I knew that it was correct. So, when Muhammad had died and Abu Bakr became Caliph, Muhammad's statement was still in effect. When the disbelievers stopped paying zakat, Abu Bakr promised to fight them. So, no, not peaceful. Notice that both my hadith are sahih, and they relate to a later time in Muhammad's life. I've also quoted each hadith in its entirety, and provided a reference for each one, which the buses did not do. O mankind, say, La ilaha illallah, or I will fight you. Try sticking that on our bus.